Hi, welcome to a new season of Shalom, Ottawa. I'm very pleased that you've chosen to join us today. My name is Benita Simiatiki. We have as our first guest on this show, Patrick Mascoe. Patrick is a grade 6 teacher at Charles H. Hulse Public School, and he is a big advocate of Holocaust education. He's been doing a special project at his school for many years, which has led him to be invited as a guest to speak in Jerusalem this past June at the Yad Vashem 8th International Conference on Holocaust Education. And Patrick is here today to tell us about his experience there. And thanks, Patrick, for joining us once again. Before we get into what you talked about in Jerusalem, maybe you could just briefly explain your project that you do here, because that's what led you to be invited there.
Yeah, I basically run a grassroots program on more than just tolerance, but on respect and citizenship. And it's we're at the point now where we've done a pen pal exchange with students from Hillel Academy. Mm-hmm. We bring the students together at the start of the year to do a good deed within the community, showing that we are community leaders and showing others how to get along. And then at the end of the year, we do something called the Day of Cultural Understanding. We bring in David Shento, who comes in, speaks to the students on what happens when we allow hatred to spread. And we just show that the kids can work together. We need to measure people based on their character and not worry about color, race, religion, and basically just how to get along.
Mm-hmm. So at the end of the year, when they get together for this one day, that's the first time they're actually having a face-to-face meeting, correct?
No, it's the first time they get to meet their pen pals, but They do come together earlier in the year.
Okay.
And they do an event, but they don't really start the pen pal exchange till after.
Okay. How long have you been doing this at Hulse? For how many years?
This is going on my 9th year.
Wow. And that's the program that somehow word got out. I know that people know about it in Ottawa, but word got out internationally, and that led you to be invited to Yad Vashem this past June. Were you surprised to get that invitation?
Yes and no. I mean, I'd been invited to Yad Vashem 3 years ago to go and study there. And then the people at Yad Vashem were aware of my program. And it's funny, it has been getting some good coverage. And I have spoken at the Simon Wiesenthal Center in Toronto. And one of the members of Yad Vashem, I cannot even remember the gentleman's name, came and spoke here in Ottawa. And he'd heard about my program and said, "We are going to invite you. We very much want you to be there." And so he kept his word, and it happened. So I was pleased to be invited.
Great. So tell me about who you spoke to in there and how many people there were.
There was about 400 people, and there was representing over 50 different countries.
Wow.
So there were professors from universities. There were some teachers. Mostly it was university professors. There were administrators, Ministry of Education individuals
from around the world.
Yeah, from all over the world, and government officials.
Do you know how many Canadian representatives were there?
I do not. I know that I think I was the only Canadian who spoke. Mm-hmm. So I know there were Canadians as audience members, but I think I was the only speaker. Mm-hmm.
And you were there to describe what you have done in Ottawa, correct?
Basically, my grassroots program, yes.
So did you run them through like each component of what you do, the methodology of it?
To some degree, explain the reason for what we do, because we were having some problems after 9/11, like directly after 9/11. There was a lot of people within our community a little bit outspoken and casting blame that Jewish people were responsible for 9/11. Kids were coming out and saying, we don't like Jewish people. And I was kind of at the point where, have you met any Jewish people? And they said no. So I said, okay, well, we can't just start spreading rumors. We need to actually investigate and come up with our ideas based on facts. So let's start meeting people. Let's start, creating some kind of program where we can get to know each other, and then you make your decisions.
What did you learn at the conference, if anything? And is there anything that you could apply yourself in the classroom?
Well, I know that my topic was a very hot topic because we were allowed to go to a number of different seminars. And my seminar actually ended up being the most Like, we had the largest population there. So the whole idea of Muslim-Jewish relations seems to be a very hot topic. But what I took from it was there are a lot of people there who wanted to figure out how we can make sure that those relationships are positive. So that keen interest to me made me feel really pleased that this is an area of interest and there are other people who want to get on board and try to fix things.
Did you take anything away that would lead you to tinker anything with how you're currently running your program?
I always try to get ideas, and I had one of the things that really pleased me last year is I had a lot of former students who came in, and some of them are now in university studying human rights, and they want to take a greater active role. So I think maybe it's time for like the older people to step aside and allow some of the younger people to come in with their ideas and help me run things.
And I'm sure you'd like their participation very much.
I mean, you know what? They have a lot of energy and they have a lot of great ideas, and you know, they're a younger generation, so they're probably better to even speak to the younger kids than I am.
Right. So when you came back to Ottawa, you felt compelled to write an article in The Citizen, which you did, and you talked about what lessons people should derive from the Holocaust about, you know, character building and responsible citizenship. What led you to want to write that article, and what has happened, evolved after that? Well,
one of the reasons I have an interest in Holocaust education is that I believe the Holocaust is not just a Jewish thing. There were a lot of people that stood back and did nothing. There were a lot of the perpetrators weren't Jewish. So, I mean, a lot of society is really responsible for that part of history. And if we're going to correct things, we all have to take our share.
Yeah.
And I just think there's so many lessons to be learned that this is something that didn't have to happen. If people had actually stood up, if people had done the right thing, if people had practiced the character and respect and citizenship that they know but did not practice, this is something that could have been very avoidable. So I really think that that's a message I keep on pushing, keep pushing out.
So you said earlier that, you know, since then you've been invited to participate in other projects.
Yeah, I was able to write an article for Australian magazine based on my experience in Jerusalem. I've had people in New York at a museum there want to contact me, and they want to try to build a program, a cultural program. I've had people in London, England contact me and trying to build a cultural program.
Wow.
And Minister Jason Kenney contacted me and said he wants to be involved in the program we're running. So I've had a lot of positives.
It's great to see, you know, little Ottawa have this influence thanks to you on the world stage like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it needs to start somewhere, and it's I believe it starts with the kids.
Yeah. When you were at Yad Vashem and you saw all the participants and their interest, did it make you optimistic at all that you know, we're heading in the direction of where you want to get to with you know, responsible citizenship, that you're not shouldering this alone, that there are many other people with the same interests?
Yeah, I was really taken aback at how many people from so many different countries are all like-minded in the fact that, you know, we need to, you know, it's the whole idea, we need to just build a better world, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it starts one student at a time. It sounds kind of corny, but when you see all these people and you see the passion, I think you see people that are like-minded and have the passion to make things better.
Yeah.
You really have to get inspired by it.
Okay, well, kudos to you for all your hard work.
Well, thank you.
Everyone in the Jewish community, and I'm sure the community at large, really appreciates everything that you do.
Well, thank you very much. I like doing what I do, so.
That helps too, doesn't it?
Yep.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned, and we'll be right back after the break with something completely different. Hi, welcome back to Shalom, Ottawa. As I said before the break, we're doing a complete change of pace from Holocaust education to fashion. And we have with us two young ladies who are part of the organizing committee for Framed, which is part of Jnet. Jnet is a subsidiary of the Jewish Federation of Ottawa. We have with us Jordana Truman and Sarah Miller, and thank you both for coming in to talk to us about.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Jordana, can you explain what Framed is?
Absolutely. So it's a fashion show that's taking place on Saturday, September 29th. And it's an opportunity for us to get together and have some fun, have a night of fashion. And we're going to be having 8 different local stores and designers that are donating clothes and jewelry to us to showcase throughout this night.
Why is it called Framed?
Those who attend the event will find out, but we're going to incorporate frames as props into the fashion show to give it a bit of a cool element, something different.
Okay. And the I guess the companies supplying the clothing are local companies?
Yeah, they're local designers and stores.
Okay.
So the stores and designers are Milk, Renee Levesque, Vienne avec moi, Tommy and Lefebvre, Jana Hansel, and Amelia Torabi. Have I forgotten any?
Yeah, we also have Chelsea Pascal, Kenya, and our jewelry is going to be loaned to us by True Bijou.
Okay, wow, that was really good at naming them
Yeah,
off.
I almost got them. And
Yeah.
the jewelry is going to be showcased throughout all of the lines, and then True Bijou will also have their own separate line, just showcasing the jewelry.
Okay. Sarah, where is it taking place?
It's taking place at Mansion Nightclub. It's down on Dalhousie, 400 Dalhousie Street, for anybody that would like to join us.
Is there, like, first of all, you girls are outfitted in very nice clothing, and this is an example, right, of the type of clothing that will be showcased that evening.
We're currently wearing clothes from Vienne avec moi, and then our jewelry is from True Bijou.
Wow, well,
Yeah, and the shoes are also Vienne avec moi.
Yeah.
so from head to toe.
Head to toe.
Head to toe.
Okay. When I think of fashion show, I think of something for women. Is this an event geared more toward females, or is this an event that men are welcome to attend?
It's really for everyone, men and women. We have men that will be modeling in the fashion show. And generally, Jnet events are geared towards young professionals and grad students in their 20s and 30s. But this event's a little bit different. So this is a cross-generational event. We're going to have everyone from, you know, my sister will be there, my grandmother will be there. So it's really for everyone to just come out, have fun, and men and women, for sure.
So when you say cross-generational, does that mean the models may be on the more mature side too, or is it more the attendees?
More the attendees,
Okay.
yeah. The models are generally in their 20s and 30s, and they're young professionals and grad students within the Jewish community.
Okay, so they're
mainly.
part of the Jnet organization.
Yes,
Yes, we even have a
absolutely.
few committee members that are going to be modeling in the show as well.
Okay. There is, as I understand it, a fundraising aspect to what you're doing,
Yes.
right?
We're all the proceeds from our ticket sales are going to be going towards the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation.
Oh.
And I Promise campaign, which works in partnership with Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
So the funds are being split between those two organizations. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the majority of the funds will be going to the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation.
okay.
But as to raise money for the I Promise campaign, we've also purchased bracelets. The whole idea between the I Promise campaign is that you buy a bracelet, and it's the understanding that you're making a promise to your mother to not drink and drive. So that's how it's in partnership with Mothers
Okay.
Against Drunk Driving. So everyone that attends will be receiving that bracelet. And I Promise has made just special bracelets for the event. So they say framed on them, and the Jnet logo, and I Promise. So yeah, they're going to be really nice.
How many models do you have taking part in this?
I think we have about maybe 15 girls, and I think it's 12 guys.
It's somewhere between 20 and 25 models right now.
It changes on some days. Like we get like a few people that will write us and be like, "Oh, we do want a model." So, and
The news is spreading, so more people want to get involved.
I guess most of the models are novices. I mean, these are not professionals.
No,
These
professionals.
Is
All
there any
community members.
training involved in modeling techniques?
Yes, we have a few people who have been in fashion shows in their universities. So a few of them are on the committee, so they're going to be teaching the models what to do, and we have a few rehearsals before the event. So
What are the ticket prices?
they are $18 for general admission and $30 for VIP. So VIP actually gets you, there's an upstairs balcony, so you kind of get an overhead view of the runway itself. There's desserts up there, and there's these swag bags that we're giving out to all of the VIP ticket purchasers.
Okay. Do you have to buy tickets in advance? Or?
You can buy them in advance. So we set up locations throughout the city ahead of time and sell tickets, so at coffee shops and things like that. Also through the Jewish Community Center, you can purchase tickets, as well as online, which the link to which can be found on our Facebook page. And there will be tickets available at the door as well.
You can also purchase through Mansion's webpage as well.
Okay. I've heard of Mansion through my own contacts. I know it's a place that young people tend to hang out quite a bit at.
Yes.
Yeah.
For a few
for
beverages.
various reasons, yeah. So is this a sort of an alcohol affair? I mean, it might be a stupid question, or is the focus really on the fashion show the whole night? Or?
No, it is. The focus is on fashion, but there will be alcohol available to purchase at the event. Molson is actually one of our sponsors, so they'll be sampling. They have a new beer cocktail, Molson cocktail, so they'll be sampling that throughout the night, and there'll be an opportunity to purchase as well. So,
do you have any idea of how many people you hope that will attend, Sarah?
Well, we're aiming for a large group because we would like to get more of a. Well, it's more for the designers themselves and for the stores because we did advertise it. So for the stores for letting us close, it was good. What's the word I'm looking for? Publicity for these stores. But we're also hoping to get a lot of the younger generation as well as parents, our grandparents, all our families and friends to come out just to support the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation because it's such an amazing organization.
Yeah, I think on average we're hoping for between 200 to 300 attendees that night. Yeah, so there'll be 100 VIP tickets are available. Not 100 are left, but there'll be 100 VIP and then hopefully about 200 general tickets. So.
What's your fundraising goal, Sarah? Do you know? For the foundation?
I don't think we have an actual
goal.
goal.
You don't have a goal?
No.
Okay.
No, a lot of it will come, it'll depend on how many tickets we sell because 100% of the proceeds will go towards the foundation. We've already taken out the ticket price for the I Promise bracelets. And then we're also going to have a raffle that night, which will raise money as well for the Ottawa Regional Cancer Foundation. So for that, we have Via Rail sponsored some round trip tickets to Montreal, which will be really fun. And Piccolini, which sells baby clothes, has donated some beautiful baby clothes to be won. So that'll be great.
Great.
Yeah.
And will you have somebody on hand, a professional on hand to do makeup and the whole modeling attire?
We have a few lined up right now, so we're still looking into some makeup artists as well as some hairstylists too. So
okay, excellent. Well,
we also have some volunteers who are willing to come and help out with the makeup and hair as well.
Excellent. Well, listen, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
And we'll put the information on how to get tickets on the screen, okay?
Great. That would be fabulous. Thank you.
Jordana and Sarah, thanks so much for coming in, and I'll look forward to hearing about it afterwards.
Hopefully you'll be there.
Hopefully I'll be there. I don't think my kids would like that. Okay. Stay tuned, and after the break, we're in for some more fun in the same vein as what we've been talking about. Welcome back to Shalom, Ottawa. We are continuing the theme of fun and festive, and I have as my guest Debbie Trenholm. Debbie is the president of Savvy Company, and Debbie is an accredited sommelier, and that means you know wines.
A lot
about wines, more than the average person. We're into the Haganim, the Jewish holiday season. A lot of wine is being consumed in the next few weeks. And so we're doing a segment on kosher wines, and I invited Debbie to come along and educate us a little bit, because I sure need an education. I'm sure a lot of people do. Debbie, thanks for coming in. And,
my absolute pleasure.
And helping us learn. So what makes a wine a kosher wine compared to other regular wines?
Well, and kosher wines have come a long way. As we were setting up, you were saying that this wine here on the end is what you grew up with, and this is certainly, if you don't mind me saying, an old-style kosher wine. And now it's almost impossible to notice by the label or by the packaging, unlike this one, that a wine is kosher.
Yeah, the bottling looks very sophisticated, like any other wine you'd find on the shelf.
Yeah. And so it's the actual winemaking process and making sure that an observant Jew has actually made the wine. So anybody can grow the grapes for the for a kosher wine, but then a dedicated rabbi perhaps is the one who makes the wine to make sure that it's kosher, and he handles all of the wine throughout the entire process of bringing in the grapes, to the actual finding of the grapes, the fermentation of the wine, the barreling, and then also the bottling.
So the observant Jew does not have to be the grape grower, but from the point that the grapes are picked, they have to be involved in the whole process of the preparation. Is
Absolutely.
that correct?
That's my understanding, and that's what I learned when I went over to Israel a couple of years ago. I was on a media tour, and I was a guest of the ambassador here in Ottawa to Israel, and we saw firsthand. We would go into a winery, and these wineries are set up like those wineries that you visit here in Canada or anywhere else in the world. Beautiful, gorgeous locations and rolling hillsides of vineyards, and there would be one area in the cellar which was dedicated to kosher wines. And meanwhile, the winery is actually creating wines from non-kosher wines as well. And so the other thing, too, to point out, I have 2 wines here at the end, Rakanti and then one from Galil, and those are made in Israel, but not kosher wines at all. In fact, all the kosher wines that I have here today, I picked up at one LCBO store. So different stores have different selection depending on the various locations. And all of these wines that are all marked kosher, and we'll show the symbol in a moment, they are actually from countries from all over the world. Italy, France, California, Australia, Chile, Argentina.
That you might not
even
expect make kosher wines.
Indeed. So
now, you cannot tell it's kosher from the front of the bottle.
That's correct.
Oh, on this one you can actually,
yes,
but not on all of them.
Not on all of them, but all on the back of the bottle will have
and maybe we
the
can
kosher symbol.
Hold it up and it can be zoomed in to show.
You've got the bottle there?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The Kosher marking to indicate that it is kosher. So that's what we would look at in the LCBO if we are searching for a kosher wine.
Indeed. And you know what? They make it so easy at the LCBO because they have a dedicated section of just kosher wines.
There's no guesswork.
And it's got a large banner and sign pointing you to that direction.
Okay. You've brought a sampling here. How many kosher wines are on the market now?
Well, in fact, actually, doing some research in preparation for today, the LCBO has kosher wines, sparkling wines, as well as red, white, and rosé. They also have liqueurs and spirits. So in all, their latest report was 180 different products, so all of those together. And typically, they stock up more of selection of products for the different holiday seasons.
Right. So does that mean that at this time of year there's a greater selection than there might be at another time of year?
It could very well be, but typically those stores who have kosher wines available are typically have some kind of a selection. So it's a great opportunity for those who do want to have kosher wines to know the mainstays, their go-to wine, but then also deviate and explore. So here we have a French Chardonnay as well as an Australian Chardonnay. And whether it's kosher or not, I don't drink a lot of kosher wines, but I would be curious to know what the two differences are.
Well, that was my question to you.
Exactly. So there's only one way to tell. Well, there's
Isn't
maybe
there?
a couple ways to tell. One through reviews, and you can go online to the LCBO website or even to different wine critics, or even onto my website to look at wine reviews and see what sommeliers and wine critics and those in the know or those who have tried the wine say about the wines. And then also you get a chance to try it yourself.
So you've brought from several countries. Are these the only countries that you know produce kosher wines, or might there be other wines from other countries as well?
Oh, there are wines from all over the world that are made with kosher, in the kosher process. And so grapes are grown like they would be for any style of wine. And it's just the winemaking process, as we talked at the very beginning. So Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Merlot, a blend, even sparkling wine. The grapes that are found to make those wines are of non-kosher varieties as well.
Okay, and so there should not be any taste difference between a kosher and a non-kosher wine because it's only the overseeing of the process, but the process is the same.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
The process is the same, minus one or two little ingredients, because those ingredients also have to be kosher.
Yeah. So we have to do a quick taste testing here.
Oh, you make it sound like it's obligatory, but well, I'm glad you said that.
Since you opened the bottle.
Best part about doing these segments is actually trying the wines, and best part of my day is to have people discover wines.
Yeah.
So this one we decided to, during the break, we decided to try the Chardonnay from Australia. And as I mentioned, I haven't tried this one. So let's give it a swirl.
Okay, let's give it a swirl.
So these glasses, as I mentioned earlier on, these are ISO wine tasting glasses, and this is the tool of the trade. I don't use these when you come over to my place for drinks, but certainly it's a little bit smaller just so that you can have a splash and you can just swirl it around.
And you give a smell, right?
Get your nose in there.
And it smells very attractive.
Okay, that's good. That's really good because...
Can we drink?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, and I'm being told that I have to wrap up this segment. Very quickly, where are a couple of locations to get a good selection in Ottawa?
In Ottawa, I understand in the College Square, which is just off Woodruff, and also in Westboro.
In Westboro, okay.
But College Square seems to be where there's a lot of different wines to enjoy.
Well, I wish all our viewers a Shana Tova, and I know Debbie does too. Thank you for watching Shalom Ottawa, and please join us again in October. And Debbie, thank you so much for educating us, because I had no idea all these kosher wines existed, and many, many more.
You're very welcome. My pleasure. Cheers.
Take care.
Arrested. He says, "Mom, I know you told me to come back in a bit, but me and Nick fought, and this was the rope that I slid. Being Jewy for the next decades of my life, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. Either be killed or survive."